Okay, thank you. And this presentation kind of came about because oftentimes we overlook what is going right on a project, what's going wrong on a project. And if you're in the agile space, one of the things that you may or may not be aware of is people go, we shouldn't be estimating. You know, estimates are always wrong. And the biggest problem is that estimates become targets. Well, estimates should never become targets, but the software cost estimation team should never be your enemy as well. So I'd like to go through and just give you some ideas and some research that I've been doing in terms of the fact that size really does matter because and when it's the key to better project funding. Let's do a little bit of terminology first. So when I talk about projects, when we're talking about the size of projects, we're talking about software development projects. We're not talking about operations projects. We're not talking about maintenance projects. We're not talking about research and development projects. I'm talking specifically about software development projects. And I just got off of a one-year contract as the lead author for the software cost estimation body of knowledge that we've put together with the International Cost Estimation and Analysis Association. We started it out with a base of Defense Acquisition University, BCF, cost estimating 250 as a 4-day curriculum, pulled out all the DoD stuff, updated it, and it's now a 10-lesson software cost estimation body of knowledge that's in its pilot stage. So when I'm talking about projects, I'm talking about software development, purely that piece, which when you start out with software requirements, you end up with going through the process and end up with a piece of software. So that's what we're talking about, software development projects. When I'm talking about funding, as the key, size is the key to better funding, funding often comes on the basis of an estimate. We prepare an estimate, we go out, we do some research, we find similar data, that type of thing, and then we've got a funding that typically is based on an estimate. So your estimate had better be pretty good. And size, when we're talking about size, I'm talking about the size of the software that you're developing. And that really is the size of the software development. Once we've got the size of software development, typically we can figure out how much effort it should take to do that development. And from that, it's very easy to go from effort into cost based on labor rates and effort into schedules. So just basic terminology. So what's the state of software development today? Where are we at in terms of developing software, in terms of putting in COTS and glue code, our enterprise resource planning? What is the overall state of software development today? Well, the chaos report, which the chaos report has come out since 1996, every year or every 2 years, and it reports on the status of our software development projects. So in North America versus Europe versus Asia and just the rest of the world, this is kind of a synopsis of what's happened over the last 30 years. And coincidentally, it has not improved that much based on agile versus non-agile. So if we take a look, successful in North America is about 31%, 51% are challenged, and 18% are failed. Well, what's the definition of successful versus challenged versus failed? Successful means that it was delivered on time and on budget to meet the needs of the users. That sounds pretty good. Challenged means it was either behind schedule, over budget, and or it wasn't meeting the needs. Failed means it was canceled outright, or it was vastly over budget, or vastly behind schedule, or it didn't meet the needs at all. Well, Agile has helped us in that area because instead of having a monolithic 2-year planning process, we're actually planning as we go and making changes and things like that. So our outright failures in terms of delivering to the user needs has gone down. However, this is pretty woeful. When you think about it, only 1 in 3 projects is deemed to be successful. Oh my gosh, half of the projects are deemed to be challenged. Whoa, that's pretty dismal. And 18%, 1 in 5, are outright failures. And it doesn't really matter where in the world we're at. That's not a good situation at all. And when you, at first glance, you can say, who would ever invest in software? Well, that's a good point. Let's take a look a little bit at software projects cost and schedule growth. Well, when we take a look at software or IT versus the Olympics versus dams and NASA or DoD or rail or bridges or tunnels or roads, we can take a look and see where we fit in. Well, cost and schedule growth is really, really common. Almost every industry, it doesn't matter if it's construction or Olympics, or it doesn't make any difference. Project cost and schedule growth is really common. And the cost of schedule growth, that's been a historical problem over years and years and years and years. But when you look at software and IT, average cost growth of 43 to 56%, wow. Average schedule delay, 63 to 84%. That's not a good situation. Look at the frequency. 70 to 80% of projects experience a cost of schedule growth. That's 70 to 80%. That's 4 out of 5 projects. Wow. And it's significant. The cost growth is not like 10% cost growth. This is 50% or more on the mean. And schedule is 30% or more. And the impact can be absolutely extreme. It can be millions and millions of dollars. Cost growth over 100% is common. 1 in 4. That doesn't look good for any industry, let alone software IT, where we're spending more and more and more money. Software itself is becoming dominant, where, for example, in the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter military aircraft, if you compare it to the F-16, which is the old models, the new F-35 has 177 times more computer code. Holy crap. 300 times more software development costs than the old F-16. 90% of the functionality of that plane, of that aircraft, is delivered by software, not by hardware. And there's been over a $1 trillion US investment over 50 years. That is massive. There's 9 countries involved, 23 Air Force bases. In the UK in 2015 was the quote, one of the most delayed and problematic fighter programs in history due to limitations in the flight control software. So it's not engines, it's not hardware.
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN to earn, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.